What is up, YouTube? Today, we're finally building something that I've been wanting to build for a very long time. We are finally building an off-road go-kart. A fully suspensioned off-road go-kart. And I'm not talking about one of those square body pieces of crap that you see at Walmart. I'm talking something that actually looks like a dune buggy. I really want to make this look like a dune buggy. As you can see, it is very big by the layout right now. It almost doesn't fit in my garage, and I have no idea where I'm going to put it when I'm done building it. But not to worry, I'm not worrying about that right now. I'm just worrying about building it right now. So yeah, so for the past month I've been gathering parts and parts that I need to build it, and I believe I finally have enough parts to actually start building it. So I'm gonna quickly go over everything I have, and yeah, and then after I'm just gonna start working on the frame. So anyway, you may recognize these tires. These are brand new, but the front tires are off of that 13 horsepower go-kart that I made a long time ago. I think that was 3 years ago, or I don't know, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. I have no idea. But yeah, the motor crapped out on that project, and I just kind of put that go-kart behind my shed, let it sit there for a long time. And yeah, I'm using the tires off of it because they're actual off-road tires, and I'm able to buy brand new tires for it at Tractor Supply. They're actually $40 each, so for a set of two, that's almost $100. So I bought brand new ones for the back because the ones on the back were popped, and I just yeah. So using these tires, and once I'm gonna use the tires. I know they're a little bald, but I'm just gonna use them until they pop. Once they pop, I'll replace them. So yeah, I'm using two Predator engines, 6.5 horsepower, 212 cc. So combined, that's 13 horsepower. And yes, that actually does combine to 13 horsepower. It's not still 6.5 horsepower. When you have two motors, they combine to 13 horsepower. So anyway, I have the shock for the back. That was $20 at a garage sale. Originally, these tires were designed to go on a very different setup, or very different axle. These were the original ones for that go-kart. I ended up buying those hubs, and that's what they actually looked like in the beginning, and then I modified them to fit on there. So that's what they look like right now. Yeah. I'm not using that seat. I'm going to use a different seat. I just put that seat there just to give you a reference to where the seat's going to go. I'm trying to make it look like this with the shock in the middle, motor on each end, motor having the centrifugal clutch going to the axle, God, I can't say that. Centrifugal clutch going to the axle, and then suspension on the front, and then yeah, I'm trying to make it look like this, and I'm going to try and make it not look like a square body piece of crap you get at Walmart. So I have the bearings, I have the sprockets, I have the centrifugal clutches, I have the mufflers I'm going to use, I have the motor plates, and I have the rear caliper. This was $30 from BMI. That was also $30 at BMI. So I have everything I need to start building it. For the frame, I have a crap ton of this steel that I got at my local scrapyard. I have a crap ton of it outside, and I'm going to use that for the frame. This is actually really strong, and it's thick-walled. Most of it's 1/8 of an inch thick, and yeah, if I don't have enough, I'll just go back to my local scrapyard and get a lot more. They have a giant pile of it. You just got to pick through, find the good ones, and it's actually really cheap. So yeah, have everything I need. Almost everything I need. I still need the front shocks, and I still need the seat. I still need a couple other things, but I believe I have enough to actually start working on it. I'm not sure where I'm going to start building it because I've never really built anything this size. The lifted go-kart was big, but this is a lot bigger. So yeah, I have no idea where to start building it, and I'm not sure. So I'm gonna try and record as much as possible, but recording does take a long time, and I'm trying to get this done as fast as possible. So yeah, I'm just gonna start building and see what happens. Alright, so the front end is almost done. All I did was tack it together. I don't want to fully weld it because with that crappy welder machine, it kind of sucks on this pipe. So what I'm going to do is once I'm done with the frame, once I build the entire frame, I'm going to tack it together, and then I'm going to take it to my school and then finish welding it there, because they have real MIG machines and they actually produce a nice weld. So plus it'll also save me a lot of money on supplies, because it's going to take a lot of time welding this, and it's probably going to cost me, if I did use that machine, it would cost me like $40 to weld all this together. So saving me a little bit of money. Anyway, the front end is done, I guess. It's not completely done, but it's at least put together. It took me 3 days just to do that. And yeah, I decided to do just the easiest way it was to do it for me, which was just to take the pipe, build that, and then flatten it on this end, and then weld on a piece of plate, drill a hole through the piece of plate, and then that's going to be my pin. I'm going to replace that with a bolt once I get this all done. And I don't really like how it looks. I don't like this whole thing and then one little tube sticking out, and that's what attaches to the tire. I don't really like that. But anyway, that's the way it has to go, because I'm using these ATV tires, and that's really the only tiny little thing that holds on the tire. So anyway, I'm probably just gonna put gussets on there and pray it doesn't fall off or something. I don't know. So anyway, the front end is done. Thank God, that was a nightmare. Now I get to focus on the rear end, and I know you guys are probably gonna say like, oh, I needed to put bearings on there, but really, no. Metal on metal is fine unless it's constantly rotating. All I really gotta do is just oil it a lot, and it'll be fine. It's not gonna squeak unless I don't oil it. So anyway, the back end is going to have bearings. I have these 3/4 inch bearings. I have 2 more. I don't know if I'm gonna use 2 of them or 4 of them. I have 2 more somewhere. I don't know. I may just use 2 just to save a little bit of money. And so I was kind of curious to see if this pipe would bend, and yes, it does. It bends beautifully. So what I'm going to do is, for the back end, I want the motors attached to the same frame as the axle, so therefore the chain doesn't get slack at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a piece of pipe going down, over, then back up, and then where it turns, I want it to be not a right angle. I want it to have a curve like this. So all I got to do is find out how long I need it and then bend it on that side with that thing. I'm really glad I bought this. For the longest time I wasn't glad I bought it because I didn't have any pipe that bent on it correctly. So now I have this stuff and it bends just fine. So yeah, honestly, I have really no idea how the fuck I'm gonna do the rear end. I'm just gonna wing it and see if it works. If it doesn't, scrap it and retry. That's basically what I do with everything. Okay, so I got the rear end mocked up, and not done, but mocked up, and I attached the front to the back, which was kind of a pain in the ass, because I had to make sure it's all lined up, it's not crooked or anything, and it almost looks crooked. I don't know, does it look crooked to you? It looks crooked to me, so I'm gonna have to check it again. Anyway, so now that the basic frame is done, now I can finally focus on the roll cage and finishing the frame and you know, doing all the fun stuff. All the hard stuff is done, and now on to the fun stuff. How I actually did this was, it took me forever to figure out how I was going to do it. Eventually I'm like, screw it. I found these bearings anywhere off of old projects and stuff like that, and I decided to put them on the back end. Why? I don't know. And yeah. And then I took some tubing that that slid over a 3/4 inch bolt. And surprisingly, those 2 bolts alone were $10. That's a $5 bolt right there. Kind of surprising. Anyway, yeah, it works really nicely. Doesn't squeak, no resistance, and it all works perfectly. So now I'm able to focus on the fun stuff, like I said, which is doing the roll cage and all that kind of stuff. How I'm going to do it is, at first I was thinking just go from there to there, but if I did that there would be like almost no room for my feet. So I have these. I'm going to attach it right here at an angle, just like that, at an angle, and then one on each side, and then I'm going to take and go from there to that. I'm going to make it stick out a little bit, just to give me some room for my feet, because I am going to be putting 3 pedals on it, and no, not 3 pedals, 2 pedals for the I want to do 1 pedal for the throttle, 2 for the brakes, 1 for the front brakes and 1 for the back brakes. Because those front tires have brakes and I'm gonna have that, I'm wanting to make it to where I can lock the front brakes and then floor it and hopefully do donuts and burnouts and all that kind of fun stuff. Hopefully, if this thing has enough power. I'm hoping it has enough power. I'm hoping 2 of these motors, 6.5 horsepower motors, will be powerful enough, because this frame is going to be really heavy. Anyway, yeah, I like it. I'm gonna keep working on it. Okay, so I got a little bit more done on the frame. I got almost the roll cage done. I know it looks really goofy right now. It looks like a box, but I still need to do a lot more stuff to it. And yeah, I got the motors mounted. I had to make it so where they're far enough away so I can actually fit a torque converter on it, because I would love to either buy torque converters for this, 2 torque converters for these, or find if I found a motorcycle engine, it wouldn't have reverse, and I'd love to have reverse on this thing. So I've been looking for quad motors and ATV motors, and I found a quad motor, only I don't have $3,000 to buy it. So yeah, I don't have $3,000, so that's kind of out of the deal for now, unless I find one that runs and I can find it under $300, then I'll do it. So yeah, don't really think that that's gonna happen, so I'm just gonna rely on the torque converters, but hoping that I may find a quad motor or an ATV motor, or possibly a dirt bike motor. I don't know, cheap enough where it won't bankrupt me and it will also run. So yeah, that's the motors. They're set, and for now I'm just going to use centrifugal clutches. The front end, I have been going to my local scrapyard every single day looking for somebody to throw away a moped. I've gotten a moped from there before. It was only like $30 for the entire moped, minus the wiring, minus the seat, minus everything you needed to run it. So it had the motor and the tires and the frame. That was about it. And it was $30. And it had shocks on it. The shocks I actually used for the lifted go-kart. I'm tempted to take them off the lifted go-kart and put them on this. If I don't find shocks soon enough, I'm just going to take them off the lifted go-kart, put them on this temporarily until I find new ones. Or just go to the scrapyard every day again. I actually went to a scooter store in Asheville, around where I live, and they were closed. They're probably going to be open tomorrow, hopefully, and I'll probably go back there tomorrow and see if they have shocks. So, but for now, I just have pieces of tubing that I tacked on there just to hold it in place so I can actually pick it up without everything falling apart. And so yeah. And I also got the rear shock mounted. I got this rear shock, I probably already said this, I got this rear shock at a garage sale for $15, and it is amazing. It's like almost brand new. It works perfectly. I don't know if you can see that. Oops. Yeah, the gas tanks are I'm gonna have to take the gas tanks off, which I was gonna do anyway, but yeah, no big deal. Yeah, this thing works amazing. Can you see that? I'm jumping on it. Anyway, yeah, so the shocks work on the back. Still need to make it work on the front. Need to find shocks. And also, one other thing. At my local tractor supply, they sell these sprockets and hubs. And for like a month, I've been trying to buy a hub. Yeah, the biggest hub they make with a 1-inch bore. And they haven't had it for a month. I've been going there every other day for a month, and they haven't had it in. I keep asking them. They keep saying, oh, I don't know. We'll get it in soon. So I went to a tractor supply not close to my house. It was really far away, hoping that they would have it, and they did not. What they did have was in the clearance section. I'm glad I looked in the clearance section. They had a 1 1/16 inch hub. Can you see it? 1 1/16. It wobbles slightly on the axle. So what I'm going to do is I have this sheet metal. I'm going to cut a strip and then wrap it around the axle and then slide this over that, and then hopefully that will get rid of the wobble. If not, I'll just find a thicker gauge of this somewhere. And if that doesn't work, I don't know. I'm screwed. So yeah, that's the sprockets, and this is also the other sprocket. So that's that. And the next thing I need to do with the frame, I know it looks really weird, it looks really boxy, but not done with it yet. I still need to make a bar go from there. I'm going to have it go up and then bend it and then go like that on both sides, and then I'm going to have another bar like this start right there, and it's going to be a little bit wider than this. It's not going to be perfectly over the top of that. It's going to be over a tiny bit just to give it a little character, I guess. It's going to start there, go over, and then go curve back onto that. And the farther it is back here, the higher it's going to be. I'm going to have it at an angle just to give it a little more coolness, I guess. And then after that, I'm going to take another bar just like the one on the bottom. I'm going to do that one on the top. It's going to go over the motors, then back over there, and then I'm going to have another bar going from the top, bend it down to that bar, so I have something at least covering the motors. So yeah, hopefully it'll look really cool. I am making this a 1-seater just because it's really long, but it's thin. So yeah, making it a 1-seater is just the practical thing to do. It's, you know, I'm gonna only have to buy 1 seat versus 2, and yeah, I kind of don't like how long it is and how skinny it is. It's long, tall, and skinny, but hopefully it won't roll. If it rolls, I got a roll cage, so it's fine. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on it, I guess. Okay, so yeah, I got the front end done. I ended up just taking the shocks off the lifted go-kart and putting them on here because I was tired of going to the scrapyard every day after school, looking for somebody to scrap a moped so I can pull the shocks off of it. And also the moped store around where I live, they're closed for the week. So I just took the shocks off the lifted go-kart, put them on here, and I think I'm going to leave them on here and then get different shocks for the lifted go-kart. Yeah, because I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, these work great. I like it. You're able to stand on it, jump on it. The bottom's out a little bit when you jump on it, but all your weight's not going to be on the front. So I think it's perfect. I like it. So yeah, I want to do a little more to the frame. I was kind of thinking about leaving it like this, but I don't know. It looks kind of boxy on the top. It looks skinny on the top. It looks kind of weird. I don't know. But I don't really want to use more material and, you know, add more weight when I don't really have to. But I was thinking about it, and I'm probably just gonna do it because I don't know. It's not gonna be that much weight. All I really want to do is do another steel beam from there, go up, bend it in, go to there, do that on both sides, and then I will make a bar going like that. I don't know if I already said this, but if I did, oh well. Have another bar like that, only above the motors, go from that bar over, and then have another bar going out, bend it down, then down to that bar. Just to give it a little more protection over the motors and to make it a little more wide and to extend the look of the roll cage back over the motors. Make it look a little bigger, not so tall and skinny, and I kind of wanted to record more of me working on this thing, but it's kind of really hard to when I'm by myself. I know a lot of how I like watching people build, because I love watching people build this kind of stuff. How I like people do it is one person works while the other records and asks, okay, what are you doing? And then the person working says, okay, I'm doing this, need to do this because of this. So I'd love to be able to do that, but I don't have a cameraman. I try to get Ryan to record and, you know, do that, and he's all over with the camera. He's zooming into my face, and it's really annoying trying to get him to record a video because he does not know how to be in front of a camera. He doesn't know how to hold a camera. So anyway, but enough. I don't want to, you know, diss on Ryan too much. But anyway, yeah, what else? I'm gonna end the video here because I think it's long enough, and I think it's too. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but I have a feeling it's gonna be really long. So yeah, part 2 is probably gonna be finishing the frame. I know I probably already said this, but I'm just gonna say it. I need to take it to my school to finish welding it because I actually only tacked everything up. I need to. I'm actually taking it tomorrow, so I kind of really need to get this done. What I need to get done so I can take it there. And after that, part 2 is gonna be finalizing the motors, getting them bolted down, getting the sprockets connected. I got the sprockets, got the hub, and then figuring out a seat to put on it. And then, yeah, all that kind of stuff. I have no idea how I'm going to do the steering. I really want to either find a rack and pinion set at a scrapyard, or possibly I may have to make one. If I make one, I'm gonna try and do it really well. Not like the one on the lifted go-kart. That one has a lot of play in the steering wheel. Anyway, yeah, there's still a lot of work to be done, but I've gone this far in about, I think it's been 2 weeks that I've been working on this. A week and a half to 2 weeks, and yeah, it's a lot of progress for a week and a half to 2 weeks. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling, and thank you for watching, subscribe, and have a nice day.